just ignorant. You're so ignorant.
You didn't even... I thought it was a pretty good hee-hee. Did you hear that?
Hee-hee. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty high. I can go higher if I need it.
It's okay. I think that'll suffice for now.
We're not doing that?
I mean, try. Go ahead. Go for it.
No. I don't need to.
Okay.
I'm at peace with myself.
You guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. Guess what? I'm Candice Thompson. To my new listeners, thank you for joining. To my loyal listeners, thank you for coming back. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. If you haven't told somebody about this podcast, make sure you do that as well. And rate and review us on iTunes because it definitely helps. You can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice. You can find me at CandiceThompsonComedy.com for all my show dates. And I always forget to do this, but for new listeners, this is a podcast where I have my friends come on and we talk about things that we're currently struggling with because we know that struggling in adulthood is something that happens daily. So we like to laugh about it with my friends. So welcome. Now I'm going to introduce my fantastic co-host. Well, she is my co-host, but also my guest today because we have no actual guest. So I'm guesting with my co-host, who you may remember if any of you are fans of Opharius, which was an older podcast that I had.
Stop it. 3/4 of you are fans of Opharius.
So you don't know 3/4, you think?
I don't know.
That's a lot. That's a lot. We had 7 listeners.
I'm trying to give myself a little bit of credit. I brought something to the table besides struggles.
And you recognize that voice then, those 3/4 of you listening right now.
Right.
That is Brenda Colonna.
Hello, guys.
One of my best friends in the whole entire world.
Look at this.
Look, we got tattoos at the same time.
That's right. This is the tattoo you gave me.
I did.
We made a commitment.
You trusted me to pick a tattoo for you. And she swore I would get to pick her tattoo, and she did it.
And you know why? I realized why you did it. Because every time I put my fist up like this, it looks like I'm in the Black Panthers.
That is correct.
But I'm not.
You have to dip your fist in chocolate first, and then
do it.
And it's black fisting.
There's so many things about that's wrong.
That's wrong. But if I would let any of my white friends get away with it, it would be you.
Me.
I would let you do that. I'd be like, she didn't mean any malice with that guy.
No. You're like, you don't know, Brenda.
No, I will tell the story about our. Okay, well, really quickly.
First I want to say I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
It's so nice to see you.
Likewise.
It's so nice to have 2 microphones in front of us,
like the old days.
Yeah, we just went right into it.
We did.
I'm thankful for being here.
#blessed.
#blessed. And I can't believe how nice you are on this podcast.
It gets worse. That's just my intro to my fans. I don't want to scare them off.
I felt like I was listening to like easy listening radio.
Well, that's what when, I used to do this with Mal.
Yeah.
Mal Hall, who had to leave because he knocked up his girlfriend.
I saw that. I wasn't sure if that was that was a thing.
To our listeners who, you miss Mal, and I don't know if you follow Mal, but that was the big announcement. He didn't want me to tell anybody at first. He just made a departure. And so I made an announcement when he left, and I said
he was trying to talk her out of it first before he went.
I'm the abortion whisperer. So I was like, if you want me to talk to your girlfriend,
how does that work?
Give me 48 hours.
you just go and just get rid of it.
You done fucked up, right? Yeah, you just. You got to show them a graph of all the things they could possibly accomplish without this burden.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
President of the United States. Could be you.
Could be you. Mm-hmm. But not with this baby. Me and my sister used to call my nephew, Alec, who Burdon, because whenever he would come in town, he wasn't 21 years old yet, so he would prevent us from doing fun things that we wanted to do, like go drink or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we would call him Burdon because we couldn't call him Burden to his face.
That's so wrong. Does he know that now?
Now he does.
Oh,
He's about to be 21. He'll be 21 in June.
Wow.
Which is insane. And he's also about to go to Argentina for study abroad in like 2 weeks.
That's pretty fancy.
No, he's crazy. And he's living the life that I've always wanted to live. He's been to Europe like 4 times now. Anyway. What I wanted to say is that you are, for people who remember you from Opharius, who was our podcast that we did, and also Creepy Caress. We have to give a shout out to Creepy Caress, our web series that we did, which brought us together.
Which is still good.
I still watch it.
Me too.
Every 6 months.
Yeah. I just watched a few episodes the other day. And I was like, I got a little embarrassed at first because I was like, oh shit, what did I do with my life?
Wait, what did you do with it? Meaning, what made you shoot those websites?
Yeah, why did I make the choices that I did?
Hilarious.
And then I was like, let me just face it. And so I go online, I press play, and I was like, no, these are pretty good. These still
are good. They hold up.
Yeah.
For those of you if I've never mentioned Creepy Caress on this podcast, which I don't think that I ever have, unfortunately. Because it's still good. Just like what we were saying. It's still fantastic. Brenda and I had a web series.
We're really good together.
We're fantastic together.
Yeah, we are.
And I think my fans who are listening to this will agree and welcome you with open arms.
Thank you.
After listening to this episode.
Wait. Can we talk about how we're never going to get to struggles?
We're never going to get to struggles.
Wait. Can we just talk about how for maybe, how long did we do that? A couple years? 3 years? 4 years?
For how long did we shoot?
How long were we doing Creepy Caress?
Like the production of it, I think was like 2 years.
So we probably spent the majority of the 2 years talking about how great we are together.
Yes.
That would start every writing session.
Every session we'd have to come up with a sketch and we'd be like, okay, but time out. Can we just talk about how brilliant we are? Put a pin in the sketch. We need to talk about how fantastic we are. Our ideas are amazing.
Yeah.
So original and authentic.
And then we'd get together nights where we didn't have shows and just watch our stuff.
Absolutely.
And then pick out the funny stuff we didn't notice the last time.
Absolutely. Did you notice this? I did not see you in the back doing the centipede.
Did you? And then it got to a point where we were like, well, let's just watch the outtakes because we watched these too much and we're so
much.
Good.
We need to watch the bloopers.
Yeah.
No, Creepy Caress. If you guys have never checked it out, go on YouTube and just search Creepy, Creepy, Caress, Caress, and that was our web series. That was the origin of our friendship. We came together. The first things we started doing when we met, we started shooting stuff like immediately. We didn't even like get to know each other. We were like, we already knew each other. That's what it felt like. And then next thing you know, we're like behind, like paying people.
Well, you were the only one that I knew that, you were the only one that I knew that thought it was funny for women to have a black eye.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, that is my kindred spirit over there.
That is the origin of how we met. I was on stage telling a domestic violence joke, and you were like, no one was really laughing except you in the back, and you were like, I got to meet her.
I walked up, I was like, I think that's funny too.
And our first sketch that we shot for Creepy Caress was a domestic violence video.
Lunch and punch.
Yeah, lunch and punch.
Lunch and punch.
Lunch and punch.
It's still so good.
We're great.
I know. Yeah.
If you guys could just send us like $50,000 into our accounts, that would be great so we can continue shooting amazing sketches.
Let's get realistic. 60,000.
60,000, actually. So if whoever was going to send us the 50,000, if you could just up that to by 10 more.
10 more. It's not like once
not
you
a
get
big
50,
deal. You might as well give 60. Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's get realistic.
We had some amazing time together. We shot in mansions. We had jacuzzis.
Yeah, we
had
did.
hot tub parties afterwards. We had Omar Nava in a diaper in one of our sketches.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. You guys, I'm sorry, we're reminiscing about old days, but I feel like it's necessary. You're one of my dearest friends.
I know. It's nice to be
And we don't see each other as much anymore.
It's the only reason why I came. Because I wanted to see you.
I didn't want to do the podcast. I just wanted to catch up.
It is. It's the only reason. I've been trying to get you to do a podcast with me because I just want to hang out. And this is how I got to get you to hang out.
Yeah.
You're so famous and busy.
Oh.
You are. You're really busy. You're doing shows.
I am busy. I'm always doing shows.
Yeah.
And I'm on the road, but I always make time. I'll make time.
We
have to make time.
I know, but still. It's fun. It's fun to do this anyway.
And it's fun too. So
So what's your struggle?
That's a Pootie Tang reference.
I don't know what it is.
I said So my struggle, again, mine's just going to be very superficial and surface because I have to do these every single week. But over Christmas break, dear God, I've been getting sick.
You're still holding on to a struggle from Christmas break? It's been 2 weeks.
No, I just got back on Monday. I just got back from Christmas 2 days ago.
All right.
And it was my whole entire 2 weeks that I was there.
The whole 2 weeks?
Well, not the whole entire but a week and a half of it. Because I was getting sick and I was like, what is wrong with my immune system? So like I was like cleansing while I was there and also taking oregano oil, which is supposed to be really good. It's like antibiotic, antiviral. So the way that you're supposed to take it, I read online, take a carrier, because it's very potent, it's very strong, and it will burn. So they were like, take a carrier oil and put that with the oregano oil. So I used coconut oil and put it under my tongue.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 3 days in a row. And it did burn a little bit, like not awful, but I felt it burning. And then like probably 3 or 4 days in, my whole mouth just erupted in canker sores.
What?
Like my whole entire, I had probably 15 to 17 canker sores in my mouth, like on the tip of my tongue.
What's a canker sore?
You never bite your cheek?
Yeah.
And then there's a little, like it's white, and then it like stings whenever you eat or talk.
What's the
And
canker part?
It's just like a little white, like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like.
Where does canker come from?
I don't know.
It's just such a great word. I just wanna know, is it the white part?
It's the part, it looks like a little, like, if there was like it's like a little dent in a hole, kind of, but not deep. It's very, like, superficial, but at the same time, it hurts like a mother.
Yeah.
And so, and they're like hereditary. So, like, whenever I would bite my cheek, it would turn into like a canker sore, and it would last like 5 to 7 days. So the whole front tip of my tongue I had like at least 7 on the front. There's still one there now. Like,
can I see it?
It's healing now.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see my tongue is a different color.
Right in the center there.
The whole front of my tongue is a different color than the rest of my tongue because it burned off. The oregano oil burned off at least the first 7 layers of my tongue.
Look, oregano don't fuck around. It's strong.
It's so strong. And I knew it was, but I was like, I got the carrier oil. I do what they saying. I got the coconut carrier.
You put so much belief into coconut oil. That's what happened.
I did. And it failed me. It failed
you hard.
me. Oh, I got them on the bottom of my lip. I had them on the bottom of my tongue. I couldn't talk. I was at home with my family. I could barely eat, and I couldn't talk.
Whose blessing was that?
That wasn't mine.
That was your parents' blessing.
Yeah, no, they were like, praise Jesus, #blessed.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle. Our daughter can't talk. But I was like, what are the odds of this happening? And so I was just in a tremendous, like, so much pain. Like, and then it really gave me perspective because I was like, Candice, you're complaining about not being able to talk and like not being able to eat right now. But it's like so many people have it so much worse. Like you're with your family, you're still having Christmas, you're alive, you have your health, you don't have your speech, but, or you don't have you taste at the moment. But I was still like, I'm with my family and this is not going to ruin my Christmas. But it was awful. And if anybody does oregano oil, I'm just telling you right now, be very careful. I don't know if you're going to have the same experience as I did, but it almost ruined my Christmas.
Even if you put it in water, it's really strong. Have you?
Yes, I drank it too.
So what? Another thing that oregano oil does, it what's that thing? What's the STD that you get off glasses? That's not an STD. What's the one that Pamela Anderson has?
Oh, hepatitis.
So, and you could get that through restaurants and glass that you drink. Yeah. So if you put oregano oil in your water in restaurants, it keeps the hepatitis C away. Like you can't get hepatitis C.
So we can get hepatitis from drinking from glasses at restaurants. From
glasses in restaurants and stuff.
So we probably all have it.
Probably.
We all have everything.
Yeah, who cares? We're full of...
Well, now we have the cure. It's oregano oil.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But just don't take it like I did.
I'm just trying to engage in the conversation.
I'm sorry.
You're trying to call me out on that.
Brenda says you can get hepatitis from restaurant glasses.
Candice says you won't have it.
What about and you do. And what about forks? They pose the same threat, right? It can't just be glasses, isn't it everything? We all put our mouths on the same thing.
But I told you my sister got herpes from a glass, right?
No. Well,
she put her finger. That's what she says.
Yeah.
Maybe, I realized as an adult, maybe she was lying. She got it from
kissing. It's possible, but there's ways that you can get it. You don't even know, honestly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, not me.
Who knows?
I'm so glad I don't have it, though.
Yeah.
Man, because that's just a real bitch. It's like everybody knows you were fucking around with the wrong person. Everybody knows you made some bad choices. Man. And you got real stressed out. And then everybody knows that you fucked around and kissed.
Gift that keeps on giving.
I can't. It's stupid.
All right, enough of my stupid struggle.
And then you have to act like you don't see it.
Well, you have to act like you don't see it. But then, it's like when you meet somebody with a lazy eye. Yeah. You're like, where do I look?
You just keep looking left?
Yeah.
Because their eye's right?
Now, you should have put sunglasses on for my benefit. Because now I got to act all awkward in front of you.
Yeah, I can't. It's difficult. Like my sister had, here's a tiny superficial struggle.
Yeah.
My sister had lip injections.
Oh, no. Why?
I don't know.
I don't like when people do that, man.
Yeah.
Because they always look bad.
Well, yeah, it always looks a little fishy.
Yeah. Meg Ryan, look what it did to her face.
Well, my testicle thing.
But those are Angelina Jolie. Okay, so Brenda, I always make fun of Brenda because she thinks that Angelina Jolie's lips look like testicles.
They do. But also, I think that when people get lip injections and then it deflates, it leaves their lips a little testicle looking.
A little like shrivelly and
Shriveled
wrinkled.
up testicles.
That's a testament to moisturization. I think that just, get yourself a tub of Vaseline.
No, it's elasticity.
Elasticity? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
if you keep doing it, it keeps ballooning and coming back and ballooning and coming back. Next thing you know, you get some testicles on your lips.
You're right.
Yeah. That's a struggle for Meg Ryan. And it's a struggle for Melanie Griffith. She's got some testicle
She has
lips.
testicle lips too?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever looked at her lips like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will now.
Nicole Kidman every so often
really?
has a testicle lip. Yeah.
Please, if you could just do a website, where it's celebrities with testicle lips.
Yeah. And then it'll be right next to celebrities' backs.
Don't put my book out there. All right, Brenda, stop telling people about my shit. Because the next thing you know, someone's going to steal my idea. All right?
I'm sorry.
Really quickly, I have another just quick struggle. Did you hear about the R. Kelly documentary that came on called Surviving R. Kelly?
No. What is that about? Is it on Netflix?
Oh, no. It's on Oxygen, maybe?
It sounds like an Oxygen piece.
I think it's on. We recorded when I was home for the holidays, and it's like a 5-part thing about women who have all survived R. Kelly.
Stop.
And we think this might be his downfall, finally.
The one he peed on, is she on there?
No, because she's still anonymous, but her friend...
She's anonymous?
Yeah, because she was a child. She was 14 when it happened. So,
she's not a child now. She could talk now about it.
No, she could, but I don't think she wants to. That's probably too much. I mean, look, people are still talking about Monica Lewinsky. She was a full-blown adult, and she still can't shake the stigma of having Bill Clinton's jizz on her dress.
Yeah, but she asked for it, and he was married. This one just got peed on. But how do you tell that story anyway?
Yeah, no, but she's still going to be she'll forever be the girl that R. Kelly peed on. No one's going to give her a job. How are you going to live through that?
That is a struggle.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want people knowing that R. Kelly peed on me.
Well, stop. She could work in the back.
He did, but I wouldn't want to tell people. Wait, you said she could work back in stock.
Yeah, she could work in the back.
And the other stock workers are going to be like, that's the girl that peed on R. Kelly. She won't be able to shake it.
Well, look, she's probably in her hometown anyway, and everybody in the hometown knows it was her. So she's already dealing with that.
That's probably true.
And her family's saying it to her.
That's probably true. She might not even be in the country. I may have left the country if that were me. I would have gone to Lithuania. I would have gone somewhere where they don't listen to R. Kelly.
She's going to Christmas dinner and her family's doing that to her. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's so.
They're like, could you pass the potatoes, pee-pee? My name is Tiana. All right, Mom?
Yeah, R. Kelly peed on you.
Never forget. But yeah, no, I'm watching this and I'm just like, this has to be his downfall. Like so many, like one of the chicks who was this chick who got peed on is like her friend from high school spoke on it. And
whose friend?
The chick who got peed on. Her friend is in the documentary. And she's talking about how R. Kelly would come to like basketball games, like be at the high school. Numerous people spotted him at high schools, like preying on young women. That's just what he did.
That's really creepy.
It's disgusting. And his poor wife.
This is nice that you offer water.
Oh, yeah, that's the studio. Thanks, nice. Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for the water. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the hydration. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so just watching that was a struggle for me because
You get mad.
I get so mad because I know that it shouldn't have gone on for this long. And I know how many Black people still support him, and it's just blindly, and I don't understand why. Like, people were still going, and that's what they discussed in the documentary. They're talking about, like, how he would that an allegation would come out, and the next thing you know, he drops "Step in the Name of Love," and it's the #1 hit, and everyone's dancing to it at weddings, and it's like nobody cares that he was peeing. But I'm like, I guarantee if he was peeing on little white girls, he wouldn't be in these streets anymore. People don't think people care.
Oh, he only peed on Black people?
Yeah. Yeah. Little Black girls. And I think one was Hispanic. The one was on the documentary who was Hispanic chick, but they're all brown for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, if he had been peeing on some Natalie Holloways, they would have pulled over. He would have got arrested like that day. Natalie Holloway was the girl that disappeared from Joran Vandersloot, who allegedly murdered her in
can't believe the amount of facts you have in your head.
Oh, I love serial killers. I'm obsessed with serial killers. But he was at Aruba. She went on vacation at 18 to Aruba and never came home. And Jorn Vandersloot is the guy who was accused of murdering her. He never got arrested for that. But then in Peru, years later, he murders another woman. So now he gets caught for that. Now he's locked up in a Peruvian prison for probably the rest of his life.
That sucks.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm obsessed with terrible people. I'm also attracted to them as well.
That's what happens when you start thinking about them and you love the obsession so that you're feeling love. You're feeling love and you're generating love energy around you. And then, but you're thinking about serial killers and narcissists. And then you bring them to you and you date them.
Wait,
that's what you're doing.
What do you mean about, what was the thing you said about the love?
Okay, so your obsession is really a love of being obsessed, a love of knowledge, of finding out, of finding the answer, right?
Okay.
So you're a battery. Your heart is the charger, and so you loving looking at crime stuff.
Yeah.
Crime drama and serial killers.
Yeah.
You're loving narcissism. So you're then manifesting narcissist and serial killer types.
You're probably right about that. You're probably right about that. But let's also not forget that I'm also in Los Angeles, which is I'm surrounded by narcissists in entertainment.
No, because you're powerful. And if you were in Ohio, you would bring the one narcissist to your house.
And that's probably true. And I probably did.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying also out here, I could throw a rock and hit a narcissist. They're everywhere out here. I'm saying you are, I agree with you, but at the same time, I think a lot of people who don't do what I do also attract narcissists out here because there's so many of them. Just FYI.
I disagree. Only because
you can't, because it's facts.
I'm not done yet.
It's just facts.
How do you say I can't before? Let me tell you.
Go ahead, finish.
You want to fight with me? How long has it been?
Let's do this.
10 minutes.
Flips the table over.
You're already fighting with me. This is why we had to get a third party on our podcast.
We did. We needed a moderator.
Yeah, we had to get somebody to look
up
facts.
Fact checker. Paul does it sometimes. He'll look up a fact if we need it.
I disagree only because I don't disagree that there's not a lot of narcissists in Los Angeles because the entertainment breeds that type of person. Anybody to think that they're so good to even get up on stage
there's some narcissism.
Has some narcissism there. That's not the case. But what I'm saying is that those people that are still that aren't doing what you're doing, but still bringing narcissists towards them through manifestation. Yeah, that's because they have other narcissistic qualities that they're bringing towards them.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
The location is my point.
No, I'm just saying. I just said out here, it's a numbers thing. Also, we're surrounded by so many of them that the odds are, even if you're not putting that out, you could still attract one just because there's so many of them out here. Yeah. But I agree 100% with what you're saying, for sure. Yeah.
That's why I had to stop. I was really into the crime library.
And what happened?
I was bringing narcissists around me, and I knew I was understanding that. How
do I stop?
That quantum. You have to.
You're going to tell me I have to stop watching Forensic Files?
Yeah,
because I can't, Brenda.
First, you have to acknowledge the fact that you are bringing it to yourself.
I believe that 100%. I know I manifest everything.
Okay. Well, then, without you really want to know this?
Yes.
Okay.
And so do our listeners who, let's say we have listeners that are attracting. This? Yeah, who are attracting the wrong people.
So you would have to admit that you are doing it, and without the attachment of the location, because that's a little bit of a justification, which keeps you still loving the show.
Okay. I will admit it that I have a problem.
That's your first step.
I'm obsessing over it, so I'll try to detach myself from that, and I will disconnect from the fact that it's Los Angeles.
Now, what you love, what you love about it is what I think you love, and you tell me, is the psychology.
Yes.
You enjoy the psychology.
I'm very fascinated by it.
And the mind automatically wants to fix puzzles. That's just the way it's generated. So those two things. So if you learn psychology in a positive direction, you would then turn the obsession and the love in that direction and then manifest those people towards you. And it'll happen within business and stand-up and all of this.
So turn the psychology in a positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
How would I do that? Through what?
Through understanding your love for the negative psychology.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about, meditate on it. Think about that and meditate on it. And when you really start seeing that for yourself, like I've told you, and you have a level of understanding of it, but once you have a realization within yourself, then you'll start catching yourself doing that, and you won't like it anymore.
Okay.
And then when you don't like it anymore, you're going to search for something that you do like, because it's the psychology and the puzzle finding, and then you'll discover it.
Okay, I feel you, Brenda.
It's your journey, man.
Brenda, you're always, you're always such you're an enlightened person, and I've learned so much from you. And that is I don't know if I've ever told you that, but I think we've talked about this before, that we both helped each other in different ways.
Please say it again.
Speaking of narcissists.
Please continue. What was that?
Carry on.
What was that you said about?
But no, you've helped me. Like you're the one that introduced me to meditation, and that has changed my life 100%.
Yeah.
And just I've always been a spiritual person, but
you were spiritual before me. You turned me on to.
Yeah, we kind of. It was like I kind of helped you, and then you helped me, and then you just uplifted me and took me in a whole nugger direction that I wasn't even expecting. And so, but it's life changing. And so but no, you're always a person that I know that can give me some nugget of something that I wasn't even thinking of or had no idea about. And I'm like, oh, that was useful information, Brenda. Every time.
Well, you know what? Thank you for being receptive. That's a testament to your friendship to me, because I've seen you be very unreceptive.
I was very unreceptive when we first.
Yeah, of course.
First, 2 years.
Yes.
I was very defensive,
and I wasn't meditating or
at the time.
No,
we were
awakened at that time, so it was difficult for me.
We were both very A-type personality, and it was a struggle for us at first to communicate.
Yeah, I used to have those conversations. Here, audience, I would have conversations with Candice that would go like, "Listen, if I behaved like you, our brand would blow up. So somebody's got to take a step back and speak productive." And she's like, okay. I was like, because if I fight like you, we're just going to fight together. I'm like, I'm usually doing what you're doing, but I care more about...
I can't do this right now.
Yeah, I care more about what we're making rather than the fight. Yeah, you taught me a lot of in the jungle communication skills.
And that's so interesting, because I was like, she seems like a professional at this and communication, which I was not. Like, I never had conversations about communicating with people, except for when I dated Ian. We had conversations, because he used to always tell me, you don't know how to talk to people.
You don't. Well, you do now.
I do now. Yeah. I do now, but there was at one point where I didn't.
There was at one point when I didn't too. I got divorced over it.
Yeah. She did, guys. I was there for that.
You were there.
This friendship has been through a lot.
Yeah, I remember the day I got divorced. We were shooting that day.
Yeah.
And then
oh my God,
I dropped you off at like 12. And then
was that the day we did that
Opharius shoot? I think.
Yeah, it was Opharius, but with the photo with Elio.
Yeah.
And we were doing the photo with the no hate.
Yeah.
That was the day, I think.
Such a good photo shoot.
It was a great photo.
That's my favorite one.
It was amazing. We're so brilliant, guys. If you haven't checked out Creepy Caress on YouTube,
just go ahead right now, press pause, and go look at Creepy Caress, CREEPYCARESS at YouTube.
Yeah. But yeah, and then that's when your husband came home.
He was waiting for me. I dropped you off. He was waiting for me to divorce me. And then he left. And I remember I was so distraught. I didn't know what to do. And I called you. And you hate picking up the phone.
I do.
I know.
I've gotten better with that, but it still bothers me.
I know. I could tell in your voice. But but that day, you were pissed because you'd spent all day with me.
And I was like, what the fuck? We were just together. Why are you calling? And it was late. It was like midnight.
It was late.
I just saw you.
And you started yelling at me, and I was like, wait, Candice, I just got divorced.
She's like, my Ben just left me.
You were like, oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, no. I was like, oh, you want me to come over?
And there was a part of me that I was like, good, Candice.
Yeah, you bitch.
Now you know.
Now you know. You need to be nicer to people because you don't know where they've been. All right? That was, I did feel really badly about that. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was like, you want me to come over? And you were like, no, because you were crying. You were hysterical.
Oh, man. Remember my whole house.
Yeah.
That was really sad. And so what happened to me, this was a struggle. Not the struggle I came to talk about, but it was another struggle.
But it fits right in.
Yeah, and it's still entertaining, I guess,
yeah.
Right? What was it? Oh, so I couldn't go anywhere. I felt really trapped.
Yeah.
This is a good example of how to break into another paradigm. like an awakening, a circumstance.
Get divorced?
Yeah, that too.
Have your husband leave you?
Of course, because that's a shift in reality. Because you assumed and you believed, like the coconut oil, you believed that this reality was going to continue.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't, it stirs the system so much that it forces you to look another way, and then that forces you to change.
That's absolutely true.
So divorce is one of them. Falling in love is one of them. What else? Moving, getting a new job, something that really...
It's a wake-up call, reality check.
Yeah. But what happened was I felt so trapped because I couldn't stay inside my house because I had all of those memories. We lived there for so long together, and I couldn't leave because I couldn't contain myself, and I was just crying, and I didn't know. I was a maniac inside and outside, so the only thing I could do was move the furniture so that it looked different. And then when you came over, it was like glass everywhere. Remember? It was like everything from my bedroom was in the living room. My couch was in a bathroom. That was like
the couch was in the bathroom. How did you get your sofa in the tub?
That was really big too. It was like a chaise lounge and the ottoman inside a one-person tub. I don't care.
Why do you have a Polynesian roommate all of a sudden? Like, I just got to make it different in here.
It's my lady boy.
Your lady boy from Thailand?
I had a few lady boys.
Do you?
No, I mean, at the time, I had a few people living there. That
You had
Brendan, he was a lady boy.
Was he?
I mean, what's a lady boy?
A lady boy is a boy who's a girl who dresses up like a girl in Thailand.
Oh, I was thinking then maybe like a pool boy type.
Oh, yeah. Like a...
I don't have any
There is a
boys.
word for that, but I can't...
Can we call them lady boys for the sake of the podcast?
Sure.
All right. Thank you. You're a good friend.
Sure, why not?
I appreciate you.
There's a word because my friends had one, but I forget what they called him.
Friends had a lady boy?
I mean,
that's slavery.
He did just live. He lived with them, but was help. I think he may have been a part of their business that they have. They have a jewelry business, and I think he was helping out with that. But I think he was also, they were letting him stay there, like maybe for free. I don't know. I don't remember. But I think he was a little gay guy, and they called him something. But it was like a ladyboy type of situation.
I forgot what you said. So he is. It's somebody that's a man that's androgynous.
No,
like
in Thailand they call them lady boys. It's a boy. There's boys that or men that dress up like women.
Oh, so tranny.
Well, yeah, we're not supposed to say that anymore. But yes, or transvestite is what the old term.
Are you politically correct on here?
No. No, I'm just saying in general we're not supposed to say that word anymore. But yes, that is what we would call them in Thailand. They call them lady boys.
Okay, all right. Well, now I know. I didn't have a lady boy.
Yeah, I was like, you did?
Yeah,
I was like, must have been the time we weren't communicating. He's like, after Ben left me, I started dabbling in lady boys.
I went in a little bit of a rabbit hole.
You did have some Mexicans come live with you for a hot minute.
Mexicans for a couple months.
A married Mexican couple.
I've done some crazy things.
You did, but it was all in.
They needed
you were
help.
helping. Yeah, you were helping them. Yeah. But okay, so this will intro into the struggle that you came on here to talk about.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know even how to approach that. I don't know. I've never talked about it.
Oh,
publicly.
Well, if you want to keep talking about the divorce.
No, I don't care. Now we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, you brought us here.
Oh, you brought me here. Why you bring me here?
I've never talked about it like this.
Openly.
I mean, I've talked about mental illness before on our podcast, and I would do jokes about my act.
Yep, I remember that. Yes,
I was building my act based off of that, of being misdiagnosed with multiple
bipolar.
Well, really, bipolar was the only thing that I was diagnosed as, but I would say that I was ADD.
So you were never diagnosed with ADD?
No, I was. I had ADD.
Oh, okay, so bipolar and ADD was diagnosed by a professional, and dyslexia.
A few.
Which is how you ended up on East 8th Street instead of West 8th Street. True. Brenda texted me today and was like, I put the wrong address in my GPS. And I'm like, but how? I texted to you.
Wait, my favorite. I knew you were mad too.
I wasn't mad.
Lightly mad.
I wasn't.
Not at all. Come on.
Not at all. I really wasn't.
Really?
I was like, because there's no one recording after us, so we're not like on a tight schedule. So.
Well, I was thinking after I got in the car, I was thinking about how you asked me. You were like, but are you in Koreatown? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, that's the
face that I'm making right now.
Because I knew you were thinking, like, look up. If you see Korean, you're in Koreatown.
Yeah.
Then I was like, maybe I was in the area that was no Koreans. Maybe there's a part of Koreatown.
There's always Koreans in Koreatown. Just FYI. Also, I said to Paul, I was like, and if anybody's going to end up on the opposite side of town than where she needs to be, it's Brenda. And she said, I guarantee right now she's not in Koreatown, even though she said she thinks she is. I was like, I guarantee she's not.
I wasn't.
And then he looked up the address that you said, and he was like, she ain't in Koreatown.
I realized I how stupid that was, but I was like, oh, there was no Korean like anywhere. You know,
yeah, you look outside, it's all Korean letters. Yeah,
anyway.
And people.
Yeah, so I was thinking about how funny that was. Anyway, what were we talking about?
But anyway, so you haven't talked about this openly. I mean, I think I know, and like certain close friends know what we're about to talk about.
We're really building it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Okay, it is. It's really good.
It's interesting.
Okay, so I'm here to discuss the struggle of being diagnosed as bipolar or having bipolar and believing that you're Jesus.
Yes.
Which is funny because when people diagnose you with bipolar, that's the one question that they ask.
Do you ever feel like you're Jesus?
Do you ever feel like you're Jesus? And the fact is, you do.
And so when you first got diagnosed.
When I first got diagnosed.
How old were you?
20-something.
20-something?
How old are we now? Are we still 27?
I'm 24 now. I've regressed.
You're 24?
Yeah. I'm now younger.
5, I think, then is the answer. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure.
So let's say you were 25.
Yeah, I was 25 at the time.
And they did ask you that question when you first got diagnosed.
And then when I would go to therapy, they would ask me, say, you feel like you're Jesus? And I was like, no, but what if I did? Like, if I felt like Jesus, if Jesus was coming back as me, why are you trying to put me on meds? You trying to stop him?
Right. Well, and that was going to be my next question is, okay, first of all, how do you feel like you're Jesus? Walk us through what that feels like. And again, and why is it bad?
That was the point. Like, why is it bad? If I feel like I'm Jesus, it's good.
Because we all have God in us. I do believe that 100%.
If that's a big conversation,
yeah,
but like, look, energy. Think in terms of energy. Like Nikola Tesla is saying that the way to understand the universe is if you understand through frequency and energy.
Yep.
And so if there is one energy and that's God, then it's circulating between all of us and everything.
Yeah.
How does it? All right. So when you're bipolar, I have. The struggle with being bipolar is not only feeling like you're Jesus, it's being able to explain what it is to each person according to their understanding.
Okay.
Because if you come from a space that's spiritual, then it's really just prana. It's energy.
Yep.
It's the ability to be able to expand your mind in a split second, which is why people meditate.
Yep.
And it's something that people who, whatever that diagnosis is as bipolar, can do very quickly. And they could stay in that space for a while. Doctors, psychologists call that mania. And it is a sense of mania. It's an overwhelming, it's like being on spiritual cocaine that's free and completely accessible all the time, just constantly running. And you don't have to sleep. You're excited about life. You feel powerful. You feel limitless.
Sounds amazing.
It is amazing.
And it is like that movie Limitless where you took a pill. Bradley Cooper.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
And so you want to stay in it. You feel like you can do anything, like there's no boundaries. So you do have this, they diagnose it, and it's not psychology's fault. They diagnose this if there's like if you have a grandiose sense of self, which is in a form of narcissism. But if you don't have anything to back it up, then you are.
Right.
If you take that energy and you utilize it and you become something great and your life is still stable, then you're just fantastic. And you've taken what you have and utilized it and made a better life for yourself. It's the whole point of being on the planet.
Right.
But depending on who you're talking to, if you talk to somebody who's spiritual, they'll say you're having an awakening. If you talk to somebody who is more material-based and more psychological-based, they say you're crazy. But then you go, what is crazy? How is crazy defined? Like, how do you define it?
And me personally, I feel like crazy is one of the most overused words because I'll say I went on a date with someone and they acted a certain way. I'm like, oh, he's crazy, which is probably not accurate.
As far as
it's a way to dismiss something.
It's always a way to dismiss something. It's just now haphazard. It's even more.
Right.
It's like the word love. It's just thrown around.
And how women are always defined as being crazy if we are too emotional and we have too many feelings. Oh, she's crazy. Like, no, I was just trying to talk to you about how you made me feel, but you don't want to talk about it. So now I'm crazy. I would define it as, I guess, someone who is, I don't really know how to define it, but like in their own, that's not a good definition. I was going to say their own reality, whereas what's happening to them is not necessarily what's actually happening.
But that is the truth in every sphere of influence. That is, your reality is completely different than mine.
Than what you're perceiving.
His reality is completely different, even in this room.
Yeah.
Even in the fact that this is your show, and I'm a guest, and he's over there, and he's probably thinking about Anthony?
Paul.
You look like an Anthony.
Same thing.
Paul, hello. My apologies, but you have your own thoughts. You're thinking of other stuff. You're not really paying attention here. Like
you're not listening to this.
And then also, how he's interpreting and understanding from his level of religious or spiritual background or psychology, right? And so that exists everywhere. So how then does that become crazy? And these were the questions that put me in the rabbit hole for 5 years, because it was like, how is it that people are seeing me as crazy, but when I feel good? When I feel good, when I have ideas, when I'm spiritually doing the things that are written about, and I'm seeing and experiencing all of these things. So what's the difference? Why, Anyway, so define crazy.
That is how I would have defined it. But in that definition that I just gave.
Well, that's wrong.
Well, I know.
I'm just kidding.
It is wrong.
It's not though. It's according to your own understanding, really. I think my definition of crazy is how somebody behaves when they get information.
Okay, so it's crazy is a behavior. Crazy is
a behavior that's misunderstood. So if let's say I have an ability to be able to take information from other dimensions into my body. Let's just say,
you do that?
Maybe.
Hold up.
Let's just say. Let's just say that is a thing, right? Now, if that thing shot it through my consciousness, through the layers of my body, my emotional body, my mental body, my spiritual body, right? And then all of a sudden, it ricocheted like a mirror back out, that would be a huge amount of energy that has information on it, like even we're speaking, our voices, right? How I handle that
is what determines
crazy.
So like if you're out on the street and you're just yelling what you are hearing,
then you're nuts. But if I take in that information and then I'm just cool and I'm chill and it means nothing.
I think that makes sense.
It means nothing, it just is.
That makes sense.
And I'm not crazy, but whether the person on the street or the person sitting, they're having the same type of experience.
Handling it differently.
They're just handling it differently.
No, that makes sense.
But when that stuff first starts to happen to you, you don't know that. And so you start to, see things differently and be aware of different things. And most people, all people don't share the same reality. And then if you don't have a language and the same belief structure and paradigms, then you do start to sound, when you try to articulate your experience, you start to sound insane to people who don't believe that.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So crazy is how you're behaving when you get information.
Okay.
That's my definition.
Like that Korean dude that was on the street. Did you park in the parking lot?
I did see him. Yeah. He was amazing. I thought about that on the way in. First of all, his Fu Manchu was incredible. I was like, is he Japanese? I don't know. It's Koreatown, but he's got an amazing
But
Fu
you never
Manchu.
know. They open this to all the Asians. He could be Japanese.
He could be. I don't know. He
could be Chinese.
See, so now he is in some way, I believe, this is just my belief, but he in some way is in touch with something. It's all about the neurochemicals in your mind, in your brain too. Right? And in your body. So his neurochemicals are off balance in some capacity, but he also has an ability to do something.
Yeah.
And he is in touch with that, but because he doesn't know it and his circumstance, he's not stable. If you're not stable in at least one reality, then it's hard to get back to a place where you could just be calm when you receive information.
Right.
But that's not even like, let's just talk in the normal plane. Like if one person is unstable and they have no money and then they get charged double for a cup of coffee, they're gonna lose their fucking mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
it's the same thing, except it's a little bit multidimensional.
Okay, so in this where we were talking about in your timeline of the divorce and then your bipolarness, this is
okay. So the divorce, the bipolarness was just me not being able to. I never believed the bipolar because it was.
You never believed that you were bipolar.
No.
Then why'd you tell me you were bipolar?
I always said I was misdiagnosed. I always felt misdiagnosed because I didn't feel like I didn't believe that I was Jesus. I didn't have that thing. I just thought it was funny, and I like to fuck around with the psychiatrist when they asked me.
Yeah,
and so I did. It was ridiculous, and so I always thought, yeah, I'm really happy when things go well for me with my career, and I'm pissed off when it doesn't.
And who isn't?
And if
who
in
does
that
it not apply to?
That's what justified it for me.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, and who doesn't get happy in a second when they get a phone call that something great happened?
Right.
And then when it doesn't work out, who doesn't get really upset?
Right.
I mean, I probably wasn't behaving well. So that made me probably in the category of crazy, I'm sure. Right? But where are we on time? How does this happen?
We're at around 44.
Okay. We got like 15 minutes.
So, So I got divorced. We did a year of Creepy Caress, pitching shows, and I just didn't acknowledge any of it, right?
Yeah.
And I felt really good. And then I needed to rest for a little bit. You know this story.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, for the whole thing.
I was there.
You supported me the whole time. And then I remember being with my therapist, and she was like, "Do you feel like?" She thought I was getting a little grandiose because I was like, "You know what? I'm going to take time off. I'm just gonna not do stand up for the first time in how long." And I'm
actually be happy.
Yeah, and just do whatever I want for a little bit.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I'm going to write a pilot pretending like I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
That Jesus came back as a female comedian and was looking for apostles on Tinder.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, and I'm going to go act it out." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I was like, "You're always telling me that I'm Jesus, so I'm going to go and be Jesus."
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it feels good. And she was like, "Watch out." She's like, you know, I was like, "Who cares? Like, what if I let go?" She was like, "You're like a balloon. You're like a helium balloon, you're holding on, but your feet are barely touching the ground. And if you keep going this way, you're going to go and lose yourself." And I was like, that doesn't sound so bad.
Cue Eminem's Lose Yourself. Spaghetti. Sorry, continue.
And so that's what I did. I went to go seek out this pilot that was in alignment with my act.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, I brought back.
Revisiting?
I'm working with producers. I brought back the story Bible. I wrote 12 episodes.
It's a good show.
It's gotten more brilliant. You know, I'm going to send you the series Bible.
Please.
Well, because now looking back at it, what happened to me, going through it, I was writing it real time because I was trying to manifest it in real time. But it was so insane because what happened, I had an accidental awakening. I didn't mean to. By pretending that it was Jesus and believing that I was and reading the Bible and then rewriting the story of Brenda with the narrative of Jesus, I didn't realize I was manifesting this awakening into this consciousness that's universal.
Yep.
And then I thought it was funny, which I told my manager. I was like, Rachel, my manager.
Rachel.
I know you love doing that. Candice loves doing that, where every time she mentions Nate, my manager.
Doing it. Nat.
Nat.
Name is Nat.
Yeah.
See, that's why I do it, because you be fucking up her name. You be fucking up everybody's name. You just call Paul Anthony. And that's why I do it. And then she made fun of me for saying Nat, my manager, when I have to. Because she'd be like, "Who's Nat?" And you know why I say it.
No, every time you say it, I know who she is.
You just called her Nate.
Like, well,
and then it's not even it's a man. It's a man's name.
You justify what you will. I miss you.
I miss you too.
So, I told Rachel, I was like, because she was down for it. She loved the idea.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "But I need you to watch me. I need you to be my handler." I'm like, "So if I get a little," because remember I had a nanny for a little bit to watch me.
I forgot that. Now, please explain what you wanted a nanny for, and then I will tell them who I found for a nanny.
Yeah, you found my nanny.
But go ahead and tell me. Go ahead and give them the pitch you gave me about wanting a nanny.
Oh, I don't remember what that was.
Well, just say why you wanted one. Like, what was the impetus behind you?
Oh, because when you're bipolar and when you get caught in a mania, you don't know you're there, and you're having such a good time that you need somebody to kind of wrangle you,
ground you,
yeah, and like, because also after the mania you're in duality, there's poles, and so after there's a mania there's a crash, and then you hit manic depression, right, which is really dark and dangerous, and you've seen that too.
I've seen that in a few people out here,
well, we've seen it in me.
You for sure.
But a necessary evil,
right?
Because you have to come out on the other side,
right?
Even, no matter what the cost is.
If you come out.
Yeah, no, you'll come out. You'll either die or you'll change. But you're going somewhere after that. And so that's good. But
so you need someone to ground you.
So you need somebody to ground you to start seeing the signs to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, one sign is, like, for me, I will just stop shaving, which is really funny because I have not shaved, but I feel real good now. Just
she's like a different situation now.
Different situation, but like I'll stop shaving my armpits because I just don't feel like it anymore.
Right.
And so, I need somebody to look out for these.
Be like,
these
yo,
signs.
Brenda, your armpit hair is coming out of your t-shirt.
Yeah, it's time you settle the fuck
now
down.
Is like a lot of feminists are doing it. They're like rocking the armpit hair and the leg hair, which I will never be a fan of, and that doesn't make me any less feminist than what I am. But yeah, no, I just don't. I don't think.
You know how I feel about feminists. I'm not a feminist at all.
Yeah, no, I don't like the word feminist. I don't like what it connotes. But I do believe that men and women need to be treated equally, and that's all it is. And that's all feminism is that equal treatment for both genders. It just it has all the stigma attached with it. But yeah, no, I refuse to fight for things like having body hair because it's ugly. Also on men, so I would like all of us to shave.
I hear you. I like the look of being shaven.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just don't feel like it.
Of course.
Sometimes I'll go through a period of I don't feel like it, or if I don't want to feel sexual.
Yeah.
If I'm like changing, like right now I'm in a consciousness shift where I'm really staying in my highest chakras from my heart up. And so sometimes I don't shave during those periods because it doesn't feel so sexy.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it.
Because you don't like it right now. I feel that, and I'm here. If you want to do that, you shouldn't be shamed for having hair on you.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Maybe you should not.
I just raised my arm.
Never mind, guys.
Anyway, so that's why I wanted the nanny, somebody to watch me and hang out with me. And so I
found you a nanny.
You found me a nanny.
Because at the time I was working a day job, and there was a black lady who was sitting at the front desk at this firm that I worked at. And I don't know how old she was.
I saw her recently.
Yolanda?
Yeah.
You hung out with her or just ran into her?
No, I went to go see her. Every so often I go see her.
Yolanda?
Yeah.
I got to go say hi to her too. Let me know next time you go.
I will.
She was like a temp, and she was working the front desk at my job, and we clicked immediately because we just ended up talking shit about everybody. Yeah. Like, whenever another black person came to that office, I'd be like, we need to have a talk. Just because it's just, we were surrounded by so many white people. And so we clicked immediately, and she became kind of like a auntie mother figure for me. And I was like, I think I know someone who can help you, Brenda. She would take care of me at work. She would check. She would call my desk. I just want to make sure you're doing okay because I know you got into it with so-and-so earlier. So she would check on me. So I was like, I think I know the woman.
Yeah, she was so good. She would come over once a week, hang out with me. We'd play games, do puzzles. We had a swear jar. Yeah. She'd bring me juice. Oh, it's so great. She'd just come over and hug me. I wanted somebody to make me feel loved because I went 11 years having somebody.
And then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah, and I wanted somebody that was going to take care of me, but not too much.
Yes.
Just look out for me.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why more people, I still think it's a pretty good idea to have an adult nanny. Everybody laughs at me. But I'm like, I thought it was great. Like, I loved it.
There should be volunteer adult nannies.
Yeah.
People who are just have agreed to go and do, it's like a service dog, but a person.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start a business.
A service person.
Yeah. Adult nannies. I was fantastic. So I did that for like a year.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, I stopped seeing Yolanda because I knew I was going to lose it and she wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
And I was only supposed to lose it for 3 months. But then
You're only supposed to lose it?
I was only supposed to go into this alter ego. I went into
So you had a time, you planned out, this is the schedule.
Yeah, remember I was like,
from July?
It was October to December. And I told you, I was like, I'm going to take 3 months off. Mm-hmm. And you were like, Brenda, remember. if you take more than 3 months off, you're not going to be able to come back as easy. And I was like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then I did 3 months in an alter ego, believing that it was Jesus. And then it woke me up in ways that I was not expecting.
I came over to Brenda's apartment. I was like, this looks like a beautiful mind. There was scribbling on the walls. Not on the walls,
but
on the
mirrors.
On the mirrors, yeah.
But
nothing permanent.
No, but here's the thing about that, and that's a lot of what the pilot's about. It's like what's happening on the inside. It was all justified. Like those things that I scribbled on I was allowing myself to for the character's sake. I was allowing myself to be schizophrenic because I knew it was a different way of listening.
Yeah.
And it was a different way of listening to positive and negative thoughts and then whatever else is there. And so, but because I was anchored in the idea that I was writing this pilot, I always had a space of sanity. So I could let myself go for a little bit and come back. And then I had Rachel. So I was always kind of like rubber banding back and forth. So the stuff that I wrote on my walls, I allowed myself to do it for the sake of the character. And they were targets. Remember I had those guns with the they're like Nerf guns that had targets?
Stick,
yeah. And so I was working on hand-eye coordination. So even though the character that I was allowing myself to be schizophrenic, while I was doing that, I was still had like reasons in a material reality that justified it. But from the outside, with a judgment on top of it, it would look like I was insane. And that's that's the show that I was writing.
Right.
So I was allowing myself to be
in that space, right.
I was allowing myself to do it on Instagram and letting everybody in the community, see it and think I was losing my mind so that the story would be real. But then I actually lost it.
And then I went too far.
Cut to 5 years later, I'm back.
Brenda just got out the insane asylum. I was the first podcast she booked since she's been out.
You have to lose your mind to gain it.
But what you did is no different than when all you see these actors getting into character, right? When they they're shooting something and they want to get into the mind space, and a lot of people even said with Heath Ledger when he died that it was like right after he had done that Joker role because he had dropped in such in a dark place that may have had something to do with the drugs he was taking and stuff like that. And so I understand. And then there's such a fine line. Like, when have you gone too far?
So what happens? I noticed a lot of parallels in Jim Carrey's story with the when he was playing Andy Kaufman, and he was so engrossed in that character that he didn't understand who he was anymore. If he was in fact Andy for a while and identify, it's just whatever you're identifying with,
right? And
then you realize that you aren't this story that you're telling yourself, even that you aren't this body,
right?
But when you start to understand that and you start to tap into it. It's a language that is so broad. It's so universally broad, and you want to keep it there so that you could be speaking in the amounts of truth that you understood in different dimensions. So you start to sound like a weirdo. Yeah. But you're doing it because you want to keep it, and it feels so good, and you start to have a handle on multiple realities at the same time that you don't care whether somebody. That you're crazy or not. It starts, and I when I saw a lot of Jim Carrey's interviews when he started to look like he was nuts, I was like, no man, I get exactly what he's doing. Yeah,
he's just woke as fuck before woke was even a thing. He was. There are people still to this day call him crazy. I'm like, no, listen to what he's saying. No, he just knows.
He knows.
He gets it.
But you have to lose it in order to get there. Anything, just like you have to die to go to the next space.
Absolutely.
Who knows? I could sound like a maniac to some of these people, but
you are, and I will vouch for that. But no, I remember.
But bipolar is a skill. That's what I want to talk about. Bipolar.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it's
You mean as far as like learning how to control it?
You have to be able to use it to your advantage.
Yeah,
right. Just like anything.
Right.
So,
would you say it's a gift?
I'd say everything is a gift. And I don't even mean in the broad sense. Like, I think schizophrenia is...
hepatitis? See?
What's the difference between...
Yeah. That was a callback.
Because you're going to start acting different, right?
Yeah.
You stop kissing people, aren't you?
It's true. Absolutely, it's true.
Yeah. Hepatitis saved you from AIDS.
It's true.
I know.
Thank God for this hepatitis. Because that was out there wilding. Yeah. Raw dogging everything.
That's what I'm saying.
So, go. Well, you were saying it's a skill. Were you going to elaborate more on that?
It's a skill... It's an ability. It has to be. I don't want to say that it's a skill, and like people say that they're like, oh, mental illness is a superpower, and in a sense, everything is a superpower. But it is an ability. It's an ability to be able to do something that has to be wrangled and harnessed and done in a productive way,
right?
And controlled. You have to learn how to control yourself during those energies. So and somebody that is schizophrenic and that can hear. Look, you consider yourself telepathic.
No, not telepathic, but I think I'm kind of, we're all intuitive. I think that.
We all have intuition.
Right. I think that when you're open to it, you can hone in on it and it can get stronger. And I think I'm just aware of it. I don't think I'm like like I'm the most aware person, but like I will think of something often and then it'll happen, or my sister or somebody, or I'll get a text or a call from somebody, and it happens frequently.
So my point is that that's otherworldly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's a skill that you have. Now, same thing with let's say this is my belief and through my experience, let's say with schizophrenia, right? They're hearing voices of other beings. And because like they keep
Is that what it is? It's other beings?
Yeah. It's like
I didn't know if it was just
everything is a being. There's beings in this water.
Okay.
This has got a fixed consciousness because it's water and it's only existing as that.
Right.
And we don't have fixed consciousness because we're constantly changing because we have thoughts that are stuck together, but they're constantly changing. Right. You're the same person since you were Candice this high, this high.
My body's changing, but your
thoughts,
my soul and personality and not personality is not a good word, but
your thoughts are attached to your soul, let's say. Right. But this water doesn't have that.
Right.
And so anyway, so there's beings everywhere, and there's some that you could see. There's microorganisms inside this water that you can't see with your naked eye, but if you had a telescope.
The Superman can.
Yeah, Superman can. And then also Superman's enemies can.
Right.
And so Superman's enemies can see other things, and those people are keep themselves at a negative frequency, negative thoughts, negative perspectives, negative patterns. That means that the things that whatever they're hearing or seeing or thinking are negative. So, and now they can't behave in it. So their experience of whatever they're hearing communicate with them.
Yeah.
This water communicates with you every time it heals you.
Yeah.
Right? So everything communicates. So something is communicating with them, and they keep themselves in a negative space. They're not stable. They look like crazy people talking to other crazy things.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, unfortunately. But this is dual, and there's a positivity on it. And so if you then were in control and you could experience and communicate with other things that were positive and you could help people, then you're sane.
Right. You're fine. Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean go off your meds. I'm not saying that like medicine doesn't help people
necessary, right?
Or like there's that side of it too. This is just my beliefs from my
experience. But it doesn't have to be the perception of it is that it's negative to be bipolar.
The perception is that if it's out of control, it's bipolar. I'm sorry, if it's out of control, it's negative.
Right.
If it's in control, it's positive.
Right.
And it could be harnessed.
Right.
Like I can't tell you. So this pilot that I rewrote, I wrote it in 10 days. Whole series Bible, because I was in a manic. I was doing spiritual.
I was going to say, and that was because you're bipolar. You use those powers.
I use those
your bipolar powers.
Yeah, it self-induced a mania. I kept myself in a spiritual space, and I knocked it out in 10 days. Yeah. And I finished it on Christmas.
That's
story
great.
About becoming Jesus. Like what?
That's great.
Yeah. So it's not. It's the struggle is being able to communicate.
Yeah.
About it with people that are willing to understand.
Yeah.
And then the struggle is also being in a manic state and not communicating when you have all this energy, because most people don't understand.
Right. I remember when you were you're working on your pilot and taking those 3 months or whatever to pound it out, and you were doing the posts, and I'm like, people would come up to me, Candice, is Brenda okay? I don't know how many conversations I had to have.
I'm sorry.
I was like, no, she's fine. I was like, we're still very much in contact. You don't have to worry. And they'd be like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because her Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's fine, guys. But it was a very funny thing to have to deal with at the time. Because I knew, I was like, she's fine. But the fact that people their perception of you was, she's lost it.
Yeah, I wanted them, I manifested that.
Yeah.
I manifested losing it because I didn't lose it at that time when everybody thought it. But then all of a sudden I had this awakening, and then I was like, shit, this might not be real. Yeah. Because I remember I would go to the comedy store and I couldn't, the
energy. I remember you told me you would go there and you were like, it's so negative. Well, yeah.
It is negative.
You're surrounded by, talk about maniacs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so intense. And you just start seeing how, I don't know how to explain it without sounding crazy. You just start seeing how everything works on both sides. And so you start seeing what they call providence.
Who cares if people think you sound crazy?
Yeah, what do I care? Can't even find me on Instagram.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah, don't even know who I am. Are we?
Oh yeah, what time is it? We're at an hour.
Did I talk about it enough?
Yes. No, I want to keep talking about it. Well, I'll have to have you back on.
Okay.
She said, okay.
Okay, well, it'll be a struggle forever.
Well, it will be, but I think you have a grasp on it. So now you know, right? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Would you even consider it a struggle anymore?
It was just a struggle for me. It was just a struggle for me a month and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't know. I had toxins in my body.
Everybody
all do.
Does, right? I want to talk to you about this after.
Yeah, and so
I'm just changed my whole diet.
Oh, really?
Because I'm cleansing. And I'm like, it's going to be a permanent thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So from having the toxins in inflammation in my body, I was under stress. And I started to get a rash on my neck. And then somebody told me to put cortisone cream on it. And then I was putting cortisone cream on it. And then I started to get like a little bit manic, but I didn't realize it. And then I was going through a lot of stuff, but I was just kind of trying to remain spiritual about it so I could get through it. And then somebody told me to put the cream on my neck 5 times a day. And so I started to get rid of it because it got worse. And what I didn't know is that cortisone induces mania in the people that have chemical imbalances in this way.
Up.
So I was then...
Because it's a steroid.
Yeah, because I was putting myself into it. And it's also because I've done LSD a lot.
Still do. I'm on it right now.
No. If you do, I found that out too. Like you could become, what happens is the chemicals that are imbalanced with bipolar, if you have taken a lot of LSD, it does that chemical imbalance. You might not be born with it.
So
That's
so you're saying LSD is like still in your system?
No, I'm saying I think it is. I think it always remains in your spine.
Really?
But I think that it just imbalanced it, and then with my diet, it just kept
triggered it.
Well, it's like my body's in a habit of having chemicals in a certain way, going up and going down, or whatever. But anyway, so I self-induced a mania that I didn't realize or trigger or anything, and then that hit a depression, and that got a little crazy. So I had to do a bunch of research on all neurochemicals and diet and how to cleanse your gut to be able to be stable in this.
This is amazing because we're in a parallel right now. We'll talk after we're done with this.
Well, I hope I was articulate.
No, this was great. You were.
Thanks.
For someone who's so dyslexic.
Well, that's interesting that you say that real quick, because if you think about if anybody is in question that I've had an awakening, there's no way I could have read books.
I questioned that. I was like, how is she writing pilots? I've heard Brenda read before, and it's not good. It ain't good.
How would I know any of this if it wasn't from personal experience?
Yeah, no, I remember doing our old podcast, and when we had to read something, you were like, you read it. Candice, you read it and I knew. And here's the thing is I'm like mildly dyslexic myself. Like I just have to, like when I first zoom in on a page to like read, I will start in the middle instead of, and then I have to,
really?
Yes. And I just have dealt with it my whole entire life and was never diagnosed with being dyslexic, that I just handled it. And I just thought, oh, this is normal. But I notice it now. And as I get older, I think it's gotten a little bit worse. So I notice it more. But I've always dealt with that. And I just self-corrected it. And I just, take time. And then I fixed it. And then I would just do it. But then what happened again? And I was just like, oh, well, I probably am a little dyslexic. But I've just never talked about it.
I think it'll be okay.
I'm fine. I've made it to 24 without any problems, so I think we're good. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into The Struggle one more time. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. We're available everywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes if you haven't done that. And also tell somebody about the podcast. If you are enjoying this regularly, please pay it forward and tell somebody else because they would need some laughter in their lives. You can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice, CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And thank you to my lovely and hilarious best friend, Brenda Colonna.
Thank you.
For being here and being such a lovely guest and being so open.